I have to do this live. Okay, you are there. Cool. Video. Let's go. Oh, it's not doing it. See, this is why we do. This is why we set up stuff beforehand. Here. Yeah, but you know, it's fine. Trying to find this. This is what I need. Brave. Watch together. Here it is. Welcome. Here we go.
Why did you take time out to come here?
Because we wish to spread our message.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting a double back. Are you play? Is it coming through somehow? There we go. See, we don't test anything. We just fucking go for it.
Why did you take time out to come here?
Because we wish to spread our message.
Uh-huh. And give me the principal tenets of your message.
We are a collective conscious and a cyborg sent from the year 2050.
The fuck?
Sent from a higher civilization to warn people of the incoming apocalypse.
How will it end?
With environmental disaster, technological singularity, disease, and famine.
Mm-hmm. And will you fall victim to that demise at the same time, the collective you?
Our body will, the real Orin body will, but the collective will stay alive.
Uh-huh.
The fuck?
And the collective will exist.
Yeah. Save my son.
In what plane? I mean, will the planet still be here?
The planet will be destroyed.
Okay. Will you be mechanized by then?
We are already mechanized.
But you're not mechanized now.
We already.
We are.
We here. We
There's
getting
a
it.
brain implant, which is how we speak to you right now. Orin is but a shell.
Okay.
Or you don't have a brain implant.
So as you sit here now, you're mechanized.
Correct.
Okay, because I thought I understood you to say that you are becoming mechanized.
Yes. We will become fully mechanized as in the commercial sense shown on our shirt.
Okay,
But we are already mechanized.
But not.
What the fuck is that? He's gonna become a fucking like mech. Yo. All right, keep going. I want to see more.
No.
Okay, just partially mechanized.
Correct.
What part of you is mechanized?
Our
My
brain,
penis.
Our legs.
Okay, your legs are mechanized?
Inside, yes. We've had operations.
Okay.
We have had
so
operations.
if we x-ray your legs, we would see mechanized legs, not bone and muscle.
Correct.
Would
Muscle.
not be the
It
same.
is a combination of flesh and steel.
Right.
We are not saying that we are invincible. We are saying that we have merged with technology, with machine,
Right.
in order to stay alive.
I've got really crappy knees, so I'd
Understood.
Hold on, Rob.
love to have mechanized legs. It'd be a great thing. What do cyborgs do for fun?
Learn.
What do cyborgs think is humorous?
Computing. Dude, it's like, have you seen Grandma's Boy?
What? Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen
yeah.
Grandma's
Oh,
Boy?
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not know.
Exactly.
Are any cyborg jokes, like three cyborgs walked into a bar?
Oh, Dr. Phil's nailing him.
damn,
Dr. Phil's
dude.
nailing
Humans
His
think that
mom
the
bust
world
out
will last
laughing.
forever. That is a lie. That is funny.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Do you form relationships?
Yes. We must get out our message and collaborate with people.
And you say you don't want to tie yourself up with a job because if you have a job, you can't spread your message.
Correct. Our job is spreading the message.
I have a job and spread my message. I mean, it works for me.
Oh.
And that's why you do your music, right?
Correct.
When did you find that you had musical talent?
So he's a rapper?
Have you always had that awareness?
There's always been an interest in sonics, yes. Humans are innately connected to rhythm and beat.
Do you enjoy the music?
It is pleasing, yes.
Do you have a story or a question for me?
All right, that's
The
awesome.
fuck was that, dude?
You
Guys-
said you wanted something funny, and I had that saved
Yeah.
on my bookmarks for some reason.
I
So I was probably watching it going, oh, Dr. Phil's nailing this guy. And I hope Dr. Phil does more stuff like this. I hope he interviews more cyborgs from our future apocalyptic, Earth or whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, it was good. It was a good time to test too, because apparently I fucked up the audio again, but I have you fixed in time so that we can actually do the show. So it's good. It's a good little test run there. We're starting late, partially because Mitch's vagina hurts. He can't be here tonight. But also because I don't know how to put notes together in a timely manner. So welcome to the show, everybody. Episode 84. Tonight's top stories, we're going to be going over the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. I think I spelled it wrong on there. Tiffany Henyard indicted. Her whole team's going down. The split amongst Republicans for on the positions of foreign aid and the recent spending bill that they just passed. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about our favorite co-host that's not on the show yet, Anna Kasparian. So
Hey.
before we get to that, what are you drinking tonight, Rob?
I got a little bit of rum and coke, just a little bit of rum and coke.
Is this another unnamed rum?
Yeah, it's an unnamed spiced rum. Same one as last time. Yeah, until we get a sponsorship, we can't name them.
Well, then I'm gonna drink this undisclosed bourbon whiskey that I had.
It
last
kind of
time, too.
blurred it out because you got
Yeah.
the background blurred, so it kind of blurred it out a little bit. Yeah. Well, oh no, they got the label.
They got the
label.
turkey. They got the turkey. No, it's actually pretty good. I like it. I haven't drank any since the last show, but I liked it. Anyway, we're gonna get started into some cool shit here. Let me grab her by the pussy. I mean, that's what we do.
Hey, that's locker room talk. This is you're in the locker room. If you're
Yeah.
here, you're in the
Welcome.
locker room. Men, women, whatever you are.
All right, pulling it back.
Is this our lady? Is this my lady, Tiffany Henyard? All right, here we go.
I mean, I always like producing the show better than running the show because then I gotta like multitask and go back and forth. It's a lot better when I just.
By the way, before you start the video, I am cold reacting to all of this.
You
today,
take no
this
responsibility
episode.
for my videos.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Or my takes if they're wrong. If they're right, then I'm a fucking god. So that's
so
fine.
wait, you were the one that told me about Tiffany Henyard, so you don't know what's been going on lately? Is that what you're saying?
No, this is new. This is new to me.
Okay, well, here you go. It's going to get exciting. So, we covered Tiffany on the show before. She's the super mayor. You'll remember her as the local government official who allegedly stole a bunch of money to go on trips to Vegas to pay her alleged boyfriend. I think she has two jobs. She's got like the township mayor and like the city council. So she's allegedly filtering money from both organizations and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
She's paid police officers overtime in the range of 300 and something hours for 2 weeks, and so they were making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. She has fomented political opposition, like she has stopped businesses from operating because they did not donate to her campaign allegedly.
Yep.
There's a bunch of stuff. So
yeah, crazy story. When Rob told us about it, it was great. So I've been following it ever since. And so there's been an update. This update was about a week ago. I've got several updates, but this one's about a week ago. So here we go.
As WGN Investigates was first to report today, a top aide to Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been indicted for bankruptcy fraud. It comes.
What do you mean your sound's not working? You can't hear this?
I couldn't hear the video. Yeah,
Do you have it now?
Let me refresh it. So sometimes
Okay.
that does.
We'll start over. Anyway, this story is about to go into Keith Freeman, who is her assistant and in both townships, I think, and alleged boyfriend, co-conspirator, top lieutenant, as the local news calls her.
As WGN Investigates was first to report today, a top aide to Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been indicted for bankruptcy fraud. It comes amid ongoing questions about Henyard's spending and leadership.
And legal experts say it could be the first sign that the feds are trying to get people to share what they know about potential government corruption in the South suburbs.
Let's be smarter than that. This is not just The Price is Right.
Despite sitting next to Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard at countless meetings, the feds allege Keith Freeman not only failed to report his income from the village, he actively lied about it. Freeman is Henyard's top aide in both Dalton and Thornton Township. As part of a personal bankruptcy case, he was required to report his earnings. But this indictment on one count of bankruptcy fraud says Freeman falsely stated he only worked for the township and made just over $99,000 last year. Prosecutors say he tried to hide his Dalton earnings via a pass-through company, which brought his income to $195,000 last year.
This ain't the motherfucking prices, right? I don't know what kind of hearing that was, but I love when shit like that just pops off in court.
Yeah,
you think this motherfucking price is right?
Yeah, well, they're setting it up because, I guess they were questioning his income or something like that. It had to be relevant, right?
You gotta know. You just gotta know. You can't say about 195,000.
That's a huge difference, dude. That's a whole $100,000.
Yeah. So is it on top of that?
These are both incomes. One from the township and one from the city council. And he only claimed, go ahead. I'll break down.
They further allege the village of Robbins has a claim against Freeman for more than $90,000 he took without authorization from a previous post he held as village administrator there.
This is long coming. If a person can lie on their own financials, what do you think they're doing for the village? Nobody is untouchable. That's what I want to say. Nobody is untouchable. So if this is just the first domino to all of them falling, let it happen.
So they're getting ready to go into some more about this kind of stuff. Something I thought was interesting, though. So just breaking it down, what's happening. So her top lieutenant, as the local news is calling her right-hand man, is being indicted for bankruptcy fraud. He filed bankruptcy to get out of debt, get some benefits, whatever the fuck he was filing it for. And in his bankruptcy filing, he only filed one income for one job that he had, but he worked for her in at least 2 different capacities or more. And so now they're cracking down on him for that. That's what the case is, bankruptcy fraud, right? So the local news is going to break down why that's important related to Tiffany Henyard.
Dude, Ben Bradley.
Oh, before we do though, I kept this clip in here. You remember when we were watching her video and they were asking her questions about Vegas, and she's like, "That's a good question." It just kept going.
Yeah, they're like, "So you did not go to Vegas?" And she was like,
"Well, I went to Vegas."
Nope. No comment.
I'm not saying I didn't go. Yeah, this guy was paying attention and he took notes.
How you feeling?
Freeman is a key player in our reporting on Tiffany Henyard because of how many roles he plays for her. In addition to the Dalton and Township jobs, Freeman also, for a time, was the registered agent of the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation.
But there's no foundation in the state of Illinois moving like we move and shaking group like
What's up?
While Henyard's namesake charity claims to help cancer patients, WGN Investigates has reported it received most of its early money from taxpayers and has failed to file required paperwork showing how it spends its money.
How come you don't respond to my emails?
Watch this.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. That's all you're getting from me. That's all you're getting from me today.
That's all you're getting?
Shit.
Watch this.
It's financial disclosures about how money was spent.
How would I know that? That's a good question, though.
That's a good question, though.
Hey, that's a good question, though. That's a good question, though.
Me? I'm just a guy that was appointed to the charity. I'm just her right-hand man. I just follow her everywhere she goes and stick my head right up her ass like the Ratchet Hatchet.
I'm just slinging dick and dodging daddies. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to.
How would I know? Hey, that's a good question, though.
Hey, motherfucker, this ain't the Price is Right. You need to ask someone else. Do I look like Drew Carey? I ain't Drew Carey. I ain't Wayne Brady neither.
Oh, dude, so
Investigates has reported on questionable conduct on Henyard's watch, including unexplained travel, including first-class airfare and fine dining on the taxpayer's dime. Credit card statements show Freeman was on many of the trips, including one to Las Vegas, where another Henyard aide was a Dalton trustee.
We saw fucking U2 in the Sphere. Oh, shit.
Sexually assaulted her. Others accuse Henyard of using Freeman and other government employees to retaliate against her opponents. Court watchers say the feds could use the bankruptcy charge against Freeman to get him to cooperate in
Here we
other
go.
investigations.
This is the whole
When the
point.
feds are looking at a larger scheme or relationship, oftentimes what they have to do is go for people who are below or the lower part of the food chain, get them for something, charge them with something, because that's the leverage they need to be able to sit down with that person and say, now, if you help us, life might be good for you. If you don't help us, you're in a lot of trouble. Now, what do you want to do?
And I
Tie
think
your bow tie right.
I think that's exactly what's going on here. It's like the classic story of like the mobster who never gets caught, but then the lower capo gets caught selling drugs, and they're like, hey, we don't want to embarrass you and everybody, we'll set you up in a nice house or whatever. You just flip on the boss. That's what's happening here, I think, and that's what they're saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's unbelievable what they're doing. I mean, to have bars in their town be shut down and have to go out and be like, our state license is good, but now our city license or town license, whatever they made up, is not good because we didn't donate to her campaign.
Right.
Come on, that is some sort of mobster rule in this town.
I think the technical term for it is fuckery.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a strong fucker.
Tim, you might technically this could get into the realm of fuckery. I wish they would do that. The news voice also, this whole news thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
you gotta love local news, dude. That's the best news.
Yeah, but I really wish they would go back to like the continental voice, because if they're gonna do this fake news voice all the time,
Right.
just do the old timey, like Matt Tiffany Henyard caught politically, stuff like that. That would be way better than what we're having to listen to now, because I hate it. I hate it so much.
Well, I got bad news for you. It's not going to get much better. Not for you or for Tiffany's crew. So that was about a week ago. They indicted her quote top lieutenant on bankruptcy fraud. And just a few days ago, this news story broke.
And we are following breaking news out of Dalton, the FBI serving subpoenas. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
I'm Scott Schneider. We want to start with breaking news tonight. The FBI, as Dawn just mentioned, serving subpoenas in Dalton.
Let's get right to Elizabeth Matthews at the Village Hall, where 4 agents were this afternoon. Elizabeth.
Scott and Don, it is all quiet now, but here's what Fox 32 has learned. We've learned that those 4 federal agents paid a visit here at the Dalton Village Hall around 2:40 this afternoon. They were serving, like you mentioned, 2 subpoenas. Take a look at some of this amateur video that was sent in to our news station by a Fox 32 viewer. It appears to show a couple of those federal agents inside Village Hall. Here's what we know so far. One subpoena apparently focuses on employment and disciplinary records of 15 Village of Dalton employees, including 3 police officers and Keith Freeman, a senior administrator recently charged with bankruptcy fraud. The other subpoena, number 2, focuses on Freeman and any potential involvement with certain companies and whether or not they received any money, business, or contracts relating to the village. This, of course, comes as Fox 32 has reported on numerous investigations surrounding embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Again, 2 subpoenas were served here at the Village Hall here in Dalton around 2:40 this afternoon. We expect to have much more on this developing story coming up tonight at 9 o'clock.
All I'm saying is I brought the story to the swamp, and it's developing. This is big. This is big. What up, Joey, in the chat? Thanks for joining. Yeah, that dude looked like he did tie a regular tie on his bow tie, but
There you go.
he had a nice office, and he's a political analyst. But this mayor is just absolutely she's off. She's out of motherfucking pocket. I don't know how to put it in Illinois, Chicago terms, but man,
She
it's
done fucked
wild.
up, Rob.
She done screwed the pooch.
Yeah. No, and it doesn't get any worse than this. Like, I don't know, Lynn. If I was Keith Freeman or whatever, I would be watching my back, because whether or not he ratted on her, it looks like he did because he gets indicted, and then a few days later they serve subpoenas to the city council, and everybody getting in trouble.
That's a great motherfucking question, ain't it?
That's a great question.
Dude,
Did you snitch?
That's wild.
Hey, that's a great question.
That is so wild. Yeah. What about that spending of taxpayers' money? You know what? We're gonna look into it.
I think this one goes into it a little bit more, and then we'll be wrapped up with this story. But
We're learning much more today about what exactly is in the subpoenas served by
what
the
exactly
FBI
are in
Dalton
those
Friday.
subpoenas?
That amid
The breaking
ongoing
news just said it
allegations
was
of corruption
subpoenas.
in that community, and Dane Pleco is live in Dalton with the update this afternoon for us. Dane?
Yeah, that's right. On Friday, FBI agents served a pair of subpoenas here at Dalton Village Hall, part of their ongoing investigation into allegations of corruption by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Well, today, we got copies of those two subpoenas.
Oh, you did?
Here they are right here, and they offer something of a roadmap, some clues as to what the feds are looking at. So, Trustee, we got copies of this.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to read it. But look, so what he's about to show, who he's talking to is one of the trustees at the city council. So these are like people that are like responsible for oversight of the committees and whatever they're passing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be for ESI, like electronically stored information, emails, communication, stuff
Right.
like that. And then you'd probably have to have another one for financials. So
Yeah, they go over all of
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to look at them?
Absolutely.
We show the subpoenas to Dalton trustee Tammy Brown, delivered by 4 FBI agents at Dalton Village Hall Friday afternoon. They're directed to the Village of Dalton's custodian of records, a subpoena to testify before a grand jury. And that's our first confirmation that a federal grand jury has been impaneled to
She's got her
investigate
face up on that big
allegations
ass
of
billboard.
corruption in Dalton.
Oh my God. Someone has heard our cry, finally. Someone
Everybody
has
heard it apparently.
heard the residents of Dalton, and they're actually going to do something about it now.
One subpoena asked for the personnel and disciplinary files for 29 Dalton employees. Trustee Brown
that's
reviewed.
nothing.
They
That's
29 of them.
nothing.
That's 29 people they named.
Yeah, but they're asking for what is it? Disciplinary records and job titles.
Is that what they
So-
said? Let me back it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Disciplinary
29
files.
Dalton employees. Trustee Brown reviewed the names and told us that one subpoena asked for the personnel and disciplinary files for.
That's one of them.
That's one
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. So
I
let's
think
see
the
what
other
they
one
want.
asked for like
29
money.
Dalton employees. Trustee Brown reviewed the names and told us they all have one thing in common.
All of these people are loyal to the mayor. Every last one of them are loyal to the mayor.
The second subpoena asks for information about Village Administrator Keith Freeman, Mayor Henyard's top deputy, including payments, tax records, and any contracts given to a list of companies, some
They're
of
coming
which are
down on that man
associated with
hard.
Freeman, according to a search of LLC records.
You have two
That's the
separate
one.
subpoenas for two different types of records. And that means it's what I would call a multifaceted or a multi-pronged investigation. They're not just looking at one allegation of criminal wrongdoing, but they're looking at multiple.
Yeah.
To answer your question here, not that one. To answer your question here, Joey, why did it take 4 feds to deliver the mail? The same reason it takes 3 county employees to dig a hole. Because it does. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Yeah.
Now, the subpoenas instruct a representative of Dalton to appear before the federal grand jury on May 13th at 9:30 a.m. to return the records, to hand over the records that were requested in these two subpoenas. However, former FBI agent Ross Rice, who you heard there just a moment ago, speculates that there is still a long way to go in this investigation.
And the Swampcast will be here to cover it all along the way.
Faux show. And any more legal documents come out, that I want to be all over those. So if you see something, keep me up to date on it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is just a crazy story.
Yeah, no, it's gonna keep going on. Like you said when you first brought it up, it's just a reminder to everybody to pay attention to what's happening at your local city councils and stuff. This is I'm skeptical that this is going to go anywhere because Lori Lightfoot is being put in charge of this. And if you know anything about Lori Lightfoot, she's fucking awful. Former governor, I think she was governor or mayor of Chicago or some shit.
Mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, she was a former federal prosecutor, so they got her on this case as well. But when I see one corrupt person investigating another corrupt person, my expectations of justice being served are very low. But maybe at the very least they'll get her removed and they'll put somebody else in there who's definitely going to be scrutinized just as much because of the recent tragedy of their bank account. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. That's the main takeaway. Just pay attention to your local politics, because stuff like this happens, and it's like these people are super corrupt, even down, not just from the like FBI, CIA, the top, if you want to believe in deep state, all the way down to your local mayor, your village, representatives, whatever this is.
Yeah.
And it, like, I don't know, like, go speak at these town meetings and be like, we are on to you. Pay attention where your money's going. Like, everyone's paying taxes, and it's like we're paying for this bitch's Vegas bill so she can bet in her 5 or 6 subsidiary companies, whatever that money's going to. It's like you're funding.
What's crazy?
Funding some bullshit.
And what's crazy is she didn't use it like she can do whatever she wants with the money, right? Like if she gets paid a certain salary, you could do whatever you want with that money,
right?
But it wasn't that money. And it wasn't money. It wasn't even money from the township. If you listen back, they said it was money on the credit cards.
Oh, damn.
25% interest, yo.
So I took all y'all money and put it in Bitcoin.
Right.
It's down this week, so
so y'all fucked.
Yeah, so let me get back to you. But that's I don't know. I was gonna say I lost.
That's okay.
It's okay.
So,
but if you're watching right now, like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 on YouTube. We get to 500 on YouTube, we can monetize this bad boy.
Yeah, then
and
we could
actually
charge y'all.
Yeah, then we can actually pay for Adobe.
There you go. That's what we need the money for, actually, for real.
Yeah,
but
for real. Yeah.
But no. So one of the allegations made against Tiffany Henyard was that, like you said before, that she goes after people who don't support her campaign or don't contribute in some way to her reelections or to her charities or whatever, or give her positive press, anything like that. So this story made me think of a recent story between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So let me posit a conspiracy theory for you, and then we can discuss whether or not we think it's true. I'll put forward all the evidence, and we'll take it to swamp court, and honorable judge, maybe dishonorable judge Robert will be deciding this case. So let's provide some context for this case. So Donald Trump and Joe Biden have been on the campaign trail. We all know this. They're going to do the classic song and dance where they go out and kiss hands and shake babies. And this is another one of those examples. This is Donald Trump going to a New York bodega last week. Apparently he was invited to this bodega. And, there was this big crowd outside waiting on him. Everybody chanting 4 more years. The whole thing, right? We'll skip ahead a little bit because it kind of just drags on to same. You see the big crowd of people outside.
Stores are being robbed. We're making a big play for New York. Other cities too, but this city, I love this city. And it's gone so bad in the last 4 years, and we're going to straighten New York out.
Okay, so you get the idea. Like he wants to go to these new city, or wants to go to New York, and he's campaigning, going to the local bodega outside of his courthouse. Meanwhile, did I put the post? Oh no, we got to go to this one. So I had to grab this Biden video from in here. What is it? 6:49. We do it live, boys. 49. Okay. So this is Joe Biden. He made similar stops. Check the dates. It's like a couple of days later, I think. A couple of days later, he goes. This is just the 18th, so about 5 days ago. This is him going into a Wawa, right? There's a funny ass part in this video.
You got myself, this is for you, ma'am. And this is for you, sir. All right, and this is a tip for you. I know it's all been paid.
Thank you so much. Do you mind here? Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
My name is David Johnson.
What's your name, son?
Thank you, sir.
Oh, it's good to meet you, boy. You know the mayor. She's cool.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. I gotta check out one thing.
Uh-huh.
What kind of drinks do you have?
What do you got?
So we can customize it to your specifications. So we have smoothies, we have milkshakes, we have refreshers. We also have
milkshake.
Black and white. A black and
I
white?
want a black and white
Yo,
milkshake.
perfect makeup for you, sir. So if you actually like to, right over there where it says order here, you can order it. So you just
I love it, dude.
That includes whipped cream and other toppings as well.
I love it, dude. If the president walks up, if I'm working behind a fast food register, a gas station register, whatever, if the president of the United States comes in and says, "Hey, I want to get a milkshake," you know he wants a fucking milkshake. Just go make the damn milkshake. But this guy says, "Yeah, right over there on that computer screen that you haven't that you never used before. Go over there on that POD system over there. You go put your order in, and then we'll get somebody back here to make it for you."
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's how they do it at Wawa. But he should have just made it for him. Honestly, I mean,
I wonder how he would have reacted if Obama walked in and ordered a milkshake. Do you think that guy would have made Obama go put it in on the machine, or he would have made the milkshake for him?
Dude, they would have made. It's a Wawa. They would have made Obama a steak dinner if he walked into that Wawa, dude. They would have been like, "I'll walk across the street for you. We got a butcher
It's
shop.
right
I'll
here.
be right back. I'll be right back."
Man is serious about this. Is not my job. You need to go put it in your own damn order.
He's like, "Hey, Trump put $1,200 in my pocket. You didn't put shit."
So
That's what's going on now.
I thought that was a funny little moment when he goes to Wawa. But back to the conspiracy. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Why is he so out of it though? Like Biden.
Oh, dude, it gets. If you keep watching.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
What?
Mr. President, I'm going to pick up a few pounds here.
You gonna pick what?
And don't forget, we also included drinks for you as well. Just to enjoy.
Look at him. He's just zoned out, looking at the sandwiches. All right, what now?
I'm going to go order a milkshake.
I'm gonna go
And-
order a milkshake.
And half y'all, if you come across this video, are voting for the guy. So I
Yeah.
mean, that it is what it is. I mean, I get it. I don't get why you're
don't
voting
get
for
it.
him.
No.
I get the situation. You're like, the lesser of two evils. He's not there, dude. He is not there.
Yeah.
He's not.
We do
running
want
the
to show
country.
you.
So one of the other stops that he made the stop same day. So this was another stop, but this one got reported.
Oh, I was hearing about Sheets. So we don't have we don't have them in our area, but apparently they are. There's a controversy with the Sheets gas station chain because they are not going to hire.
See, you're
people
skipping
who-
ahead. You're skipping ahead. Okay.
Okay, I told you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop. I'll
Yeah,
stop.
You're
All
skipping
right, go
ahead. All right.
Go
So
ahead.
the same day, Biden also makes another surprise visit to a different gas station. This one being Sheets.
This because just a few minutes before he got to the airport, the president made a stop at Sheets of all places. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Bob Mayo just told us that the store only got about 10 minutes notice. Bob asked what the president ordered and was told that it was a big online order that was mainly turkey subs. President is set to leave Pittsburgh here within the hour.
All right. So nothing really to it. They just say that he goes there and all that. Now, the conspiracy theory starts about here. So he goes to all of these campaign stops. The theory is that he's doing it in connection with Trump, because Trump goes to this bodega, gets this huge open welcoming and all this other kind of stuff. And then Biden goes to Wawa and to Sheets. And you can see people don't really care that he's there. They're just kind of like, oh shit, there's the president. Hi, what's up? And
Trump also, sorry to interrupt. Trump also, like last week, I think he went to Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
In like Atlanta, Georgia, and he was like, I'm gonna buy everybody chicken nuggets and milkshakes.
Yeah.
And does that sound good? How does that sound, everyone? And like everyone was happy about it. It looked like a lot of people in there, and they looked like they had a good time. He's just kind of being personable, which also is kind of funny that if any libertarian presidential candidate walked into Chick-fil-A, they would just be ordering Chick-fil-A. It would just be, but you know, whatever. That's who we're voting for anyway.
Yeah. So the theory is, this is how the story goes. So Trump goes out and makes his visit to a convenience store, has a good showing, gets a lot of good press from it. So the Biden campaign tries to repeat the same thing at two locations, at Wawa and Sheets, and doesn't go so well. Actually, everybody's laughing at him because no one cares that he's there. That's the reaction on Twitter and other places of how it went down. The next day, this happens.
Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is suing Sheetz for racially discriminatory hiring practices. According to the lawsuit, Sheetz has maintained a long-standing practice of screening all job applicants for records of criminal conviction and then denying them employment based on those records. The EEOC says that Sheetz hiring practices disproportionately screened out Black, Native American, Alaska Native, and multiracial applicants, which violates provisions
First of all, that's a good looking chicken sandwich.
of Title VII.
You stopped it right before.
Oh, sorry, right, of Title VII.
Yeah.
Is it though, or are they just keeping people with criminal records from working there?
And that is the claim in this video.
As the Biden administration filing a lawsuit against Pennsylvania-based convenience store Sheetz, accusing the company of violating civil rights law with hiring practices and discriminating against minority applicants. In a statement, Sheetz says it, quote, does not tolerate discrimination of any kind. Now, interestingly, on the same day that the chain...
In a statement by their PR team, Sheetz says,
Says shit. I know.
Don't do none of
was
that.
hit with this lawsuit from the president.
I want to clarify too something she says because she's mistaken in this. I looked it up. It took me a minute to find it, but it was not the It was not the same day. It was the day after they filed this
That
lawsuit.
the chain was hit with this lawsuit from the president. President Biden made a campaign stop at one of its locations. Mark, your reaction?
Well, he needs to go back and let all those customers know that the prices for all that food in there is now going to go up because this lawsuit is inflationary, right? I mean, that's going to pass on a ton of additional.
That's not what inflation is, you dumbass, but let's keep going.
Cost to Sheetz. But look, there's no racial discrimination here. I mean, this
Agreed.
is strictly people who did not pass background checks. They committed crimes. They didn't pass background checks. The government has no business getting involved in the hiring practices of the private sector. If they don't want to hire criminals, they don't have to hire criminals.
Okay, Mark Tepper. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on the same page as you. Let me cut her off real quick. Let me flip us over here. So yeah, he's on the same page as you. But I think so. The conspiracy theory that's being profited by everybody is this right here. So Monica Crowley, very famous conservative commentator, I guess. A few days ago, Biden meandered dazed and confused around a Sheetz convenience store in PA. Now he's suing for racial discrimination because they refused to do criminals. Are you awake yet? This one, and you know, it keeps going down here. Basically, the theory is that he had a poor performance at this Sheetz location, and that's why the Biden administration is turning on them with this racial discrimination lawsuit.
I think they just need to bring him out more. I mean, get him some sunlight, and
Yeah.
you know, let him see some people, answer some questions. You know, like Trump did when he was in office, or you know, any other president ever who was out, like they'd be out in the public and they would actually answer questions. With Biden, they're like one, and it's like pre done. It's like a ordained thing, and he answers it with like a one-liner, or
Yeah.
like, what should you tell Iran if they want to bomb Israel? And he's like, don't. And then they're like, all right, he's done. He's done. Shoo him away. So
Yeah.
yeah, just go out again. No, I don't think that's real. I think someone probably got pissed off for like not being hired, and they really needed a job, and they were like, we should go after them. I mean, because I don't know. I could see that, because who sued? You know,
Yeah.
Biden didn't sue, so that's just a
It's a
far
federal
reach.
federal organization. I think the same thing, but it came across my attention because I saw it on a liberal hive mind video where he's talking about how New York Mayor Eric Adams was complaining about crime. Ignore the child. New York Mayor Eric Adams was criticizing the Biden administration and federal government for allowing for all the illegals to come across the border and all this kind of stuff, and how it was creating crime in his area and other areas around the country. He criticized that, and then shortly after, his group, you know, up there in New York was investigated for crimes. And so the liberal hive mind video pointed at that and said, you know, there's not everything in politics is coincidence. Sometimes it's retaliation. And the Biden administration has this huge track record of using lawfare to go against their opponents. And now it's this case where everybody sees a conspiracy everywhere. So now you see this thing with Sheetz where Biden walks into a Sheetz and has a poor reception, and then the next day his EOC or whatever the fuck it's called, some federal organization, goes after Sheets for their alleged racial discrimination, all this kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know. I wanted to point it out because there are some dumb things that get said from time. There's a lot of legit conspiracy theories, but there's some dumbass shit that gets said all the time. And I think people are just so against one side. Like, I don't even think that people are so much for Republicans or for Democrats. They're just against the other one. And so they look for things like this to point to say, like, that person's wrong. They're obviously engaged in nefarious behavior. Honestly, I think it's stupid. What do they call it? Occam's razor. Explain, don't explain. If it can be explained simply, then that's the simplest explanation is probably correct, right? So that's what I think's happening here. Biden's an idiot, doesn't know what's going on. He walked into his Sheets because it was nearby, thought he was going to get some reception or whatever. It didn't go well, and it just so happened that Sheets gets investigated. I don't think it's a Tiffany Henyard situation.
No. And yeah, I think you're going to probably see a lot of conspiracy theories like this until the pendulum swings in the opposite direction, where both sides are conducting this kind of lawfare, because that it kind of needs to happen, because it's only been one-sided for me as far as I've seen. And I am a little biased. Obviously, we're on this side. We're on like the libertarian side of the aisle,
Right.
which is like basically not funded, or we're not going after anybody, and so it's gonna keep going that way until Republicans start suing Democrats for maybe unfair practices, using
But then it gets
their own
worse,
laws
doesn't it?
against them.
I don't think it gets better. I think it gets worse at that point.
I mean, yeah, it does, but also it's kind of like that. If one side's fighting, then it's going to push so far that way. If that side's fighting, I feel like you kind of meet in the middle somewhere, right? And then the justice system, judges and lawyers will have to start just being real again and being honest, and not pushing these political agendas inside of our law.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, another split that's happening, left versus right, all that kind of stuff. Another split that's happening is right versus right. The conservatives are tearing themselves apart over foreign aid. My daughter needs to go away. What are you doing?
The digga Daily Wire.
Yeah, so
this has been fun. So Candace Owens left, and they're pretty much just like running around with their heads on fire.
Oh yeah, no, it's not going well for them. Let's say. I need to go here first. I got rid of it. Hold on, I need the NPR link. And grab this, and we drop it here, and we do that.
NPR is also in the news.
Yes, they are.
I don't know if you grabbed that.
No, we talked about it last time. Yeah, the whistleblower.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
all right, good.
But House passes foreign aid bill to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. So again,
we called it. So we called it again.
Yep.
One mo again. We called that shit on the Swampcast.
Yep. So this was something that we were talking about. Speaker Johnson, is it going to make a difference? He was talking about breaking up all the bills. He was going to split them up into chunks, and then people could vote on each one individually. And Rob's comment at the time was, well, what's the difference if they're going to pass everything? You're just dragging it out. You're just going to pass everything anyway. And
it's like paying for my Airbnb. Yeah, I could definitely pay it all now, but I'm going to pay like just a little bit of it now, and then stay in my Airbnb, and in a few months not pay it all. I'm joking. I will pay that back eventually. I promise.
Those people. What we need is Speaker Massey. Yeah, he comes up in this story.
By the way, the government did fund my Airbnb stay. That's also on the bill.
Oh damn. Yeah,
you should really check. We should really check where our taxes go.
Yeah, you got to read those bills before you pass them. So they passed. I think it was $95 billion between all three countries: Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. So we're getting involved in the Chinese,
in the Ukraine.
The Ukraine needs money too. So anyway,
in Africa.
Yeah, so the House Representative passed $95 billion aid package. Each portion of the package, which was broken down into separate bills, received bipartisan support. A majority of Republicans, 112, voted against aid to Ukraine, with one member voting present. 37 Democrats voted against the bill to aid Israel. So despite both sides complaining about various aspects, it all passed anyway. So now it's on its way to the Senate, and it'll probably pass there as well. But Ben Shapiro, not a big fan of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was going to say Majorie Taylor Greene. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. Let me back it up, boys. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here we go. Not a fan of this bill. She's been coming out against Speaker Johnson for a long time. If you'll remember, Matt Gaetz got rid of the last speaker. And she makes some interesting comments here towards the end, but let's go ahead and start it. We'll skip ahead a little bit. Skip ahead to 115. So here we go.
But I mean, given what you said, do Republicans deserve to be in the majority?
That's up to the people, because this is the third betrayal by Mike Johnson. He delivered
about to lay out the case against him.
Funded the Department of Justice, 91 federal indictments against President Trump, funded the FBI that raided Mar-a-Lago, gave him a brand new FBI building, funded Joe Biden's open border policies that are killing Americans every single day. Then he reauthorized FISA that spied on American citizens, spied on President Trump's campaign, and he voted against the warrant requirement, the same warrant requirement that he was for 6 months ago. And then he did this bullshit in here on the House floor, foreign war package that does nothing for America. It's unbelievable. I'm thankful that America gets to see who this man is. I'm thankful that America gets to see who the people that voted for this is, because this is the only way it's going to change. People have to see the truth.
Yeah, so she lays out her case against Mike Johnson and why he's not a good representative of the Republican caucus and why he needs to go. I think she makes a good case, especially coming from their perspective. I don't know how, in years past, the way it always went was whoever controlled the gavel, kind of directed policy because they would just refuse to pick up certain things. And then Mike Johnson, it was pointed out in a Mark Dice video I watched recently, the first thing he did when he got in was pass aid to Israel. So it shouldn't really be a surprise that this foreign aid bill comes up and he does the same kind of thing. In the past, a conservative or even a Democrat, let's say a bill for Israel came up, if a Democrat was in charge, they might not take it at all. Well, Israel's a special case where both sides give them all the money, but I don't know. Take another one, I don't know, some other country. Yeah,
war funding, funding. I mean, Ukraine, both sides were for funding that pretty much. That's how it's getting through.
What I'm saying is let's say there was a bill to pass to repeal Obamacare, right? Yeah. And the Democrats were in charge. They would just not take up the bill. They just wouldn't even bring it up. So this Ukraine package gets voted against by a majority of Republicans, and Johnson picks it up anyway. And he's like, you know what? We just got to do it. But
it wasn't one. It wasn't one whole one. We separated it. So
it's still passed.
Yeah, so it's okay. But it wasn't in one. It wasn't at one time.
Yeah, so. It wasn't some massive bill. It was just $95 billion. Whatever.
So you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention if you want to feel really fucked.
Yeah.
That's if you hear about it one time, you're like, damn, they really fucked us. But you have to keep wanting to pay attention.
So she goes on,
which we do. So we just got fucked 3 times.
Oh yeah, 3 times in a row,
continually.
Yeah. It's like we were going to go to this house and get fucked one time, but instead they lined up in groups. They just got us one after the other, and then they let us go. Yeah. Instead of having the whole gangbang, we had one at a time.
Yeah. I mean, she's
we call that a
train.
Right
yeah. Derailment, train derailment. She's laying out some good points right here, and I like how she's saying that's bullshit. That's just her. That's what MTG does all the time. But I think we need more people who personally are like that. MTG, she's not milquetoast, I would say. We need to get a libertarian in her office and talk to her and be like, listen, you're wrong on these things
she
right
ain't
here.
gonna hear you.
She would. You don't think so? You don't think she
Hell
would?
no, dude.
You don't think she's like the Thomas Massey, Justin Amash
Nope.
type? You don't think she gets
Nope.
along with them?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay,
I
well-
think. Yeah. Here, we'll keep going, but I don't think so. No.
This fight against Russia not worth it?
Based on what you
Ma'am,
just said,
why is the fight against
based
Russia
on
not
what you
worth
just
it?
said, are you waiting to see if there will be more support in your conference before calling a motion to vacate?
There is more support. It's growing. I've said from the beginning, I'm going to be responsible with this.
One point to bolster your point that she might be amenable to those types of things. Her motion to vacate only has 2 co-sponsors right now. The first co-sponsor was Thomas Massey.
I support my majority. I support the majority next time. I do not support Mike Johnson. He's already a lame duck. If we had the vote today in our conference, he would not be speaker today. He's already a lame duck. He can't raise money.
I think that's
Everyone
big.
knows it. We know we can't win the majority next year without raising money. He can't be speaker. He doesn't have the vote. This is the process that just has to
Are you going to talk to?
So I think that's big because I still think, despite election fortification, I still think Trump has the highest chance of winning right now. And if Trump is reelected and the House and the Senate follow suit, then the Speaker is going to have a lot more authority than he does right now. We're going to see later. Johnson mentions that there's only a 1 or 2 vote split between the Republicans and Democrats. So everything they do has to be, his argument is everything has to be bipartisan in some way because the margin is so slim. But if what I think is going to happen happens and Trump wins and he wins bigly, and they take all three houses.
We won very bigly. It
Yeah.
was a massive victory.
Yeah,
you did use bigly. In a
Yeah, I did
sentence.
on purpose. You caught the joke. Good job. So I think if that happens, though, I think the speakership is going to be really important, and I don't think somebody like Johnson is going to make it. Other people think it should be Gates, but Marjorie's about to make a comment that kind of slaps Gates. Let's see if you catch it.
Drop this motion. This was the last big legislative push before September, something that you have been against for months now. What are you waiting for on triggering this motion?
There's some people that are rash and irresponsible and do things like what happened last time. I'm not that person.
That's Gates.
I didn't come here to Congress to actually hurt
And
our
this is why.
institution, hurt our majority. I'm handling this the right way. And
Listen to what she just said there. This is why I don't think that she would be amenable to a libertarian argument.
things like what happened last time. I'm not that person. I didn't come here to Congress to actually hurt our institution, hurt our majority. I'm handling this the right way.
She's a party
And
person.
so I'm allowing the process to happen. The American people are going to have their way. Our voters are going to make their voices heard to my colleagues in the party. And like I said, if the vote was held today, Mike Johnson is a lame duck.
Yeah. So I don't think. Yeah.
Voters are not. The voters never, ever do. None of them are listening to their constituents. If the government actually listened to the constituents, we'd have a lot more money back here in America, and our dollar would go a lot farther. We wouldn't be funding these wars. Like, no one wants these wars. Yeah, both parties are voting for it.
Even the Democrats too, because there's a lot of people in Chicago and New York and everywhere else that are saying, like, why are we spending so much money over there? We got our own problems here. Even the more left-leaning people, they might have sympathy for those in Gaza or whatever. They might have those things that they care about. But ultimately what they want is, they want free healthcare. They want free housing. They want all this other kind of stuff, which is a domestic concern. It's not really foreign. And so I think you're right. Like, if they were listening to what the people actually wanted, I'm not saying it'd be a better situation. We'd still be burning a bunch of money, but it would not be focused on this bullshit.
And progressives are generally amenable to paying different taxes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever you're talking to someone who let's just give a communist or a socialist viewpoint of it, they're fine with paying all their taxes, but they're like, I want a good public transportation setup. They're paying city taxes, they're paying state taxes, so they're paying local taxes on top of this federal tax, which is just going all over the fucking world. So I think whenever I sit down and talk to a socialist or a communist, I can have more in common with them than a neocon or a neoliberal as far as the current state of affairs and what we think should change. as far as like efficiency of taxes and stuff.
I think that's all the drugs creeping into your brain. I think I'm the opposite.
No, I mean honestly, like
Yeah.
I've talked to a couple of like anarcho-communists, which I definitely don't agree with, but like
Right.
you talk about anarchy and you want to get down into the philosophy of it, like we just haven't convinced them that the Communist Party is wrong. For some reason, it's like, yeah, but it's not anarchy if you're communist. Like I don't know how to get through with them on that point.
I don't
So
know
that's
what this
just my bad.
means.
They aren't people. Yeah, I don't know what it means either. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's an oxymoron, really. But what I'm saying is, as far as like the anti-war stuff,
Mhm.
I mean, we match on that. As far as spending tax dollars, I feel like
I
feel
don't
like
think
there's
we're in alignment at all on taxes.
no, we're not in alignment at all. But
Okay.
I think what I'm trying to say is a lot of these people live in big city centers, and so I think they would be more amenable to paying those kind of taxes. And maybe I'm wrong, and not one giant, huge fucking federal tax. Anarcho-communists.
No,
Maybe not
because
like
they
full
want to.
communists.
No, because they want to tax Bezos and they want to tax Bill Gates and they want to tax all these rich billionaires that they know are just going to leave anywhere. They think that those people can pay for their lifestyle.
I guess that is true, but
I
they
don't
don't
think so,
want they don't want the taxes to. Yeah, no, I think you're right. They don't want the taxes to go to like foreign wars.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff
I
like
agree
that.
with that. They want paid maternity leave for the father. They don't want they don't want foreign aid to Israel.
Well, father, don't say father. You can't say
Oh,
father.
shit,
We don't
well,
really know.
I can say
Just-
whatever I want because this is the swamp. The swamp is back in full force. Okay, we can say whatever the fuck we want.
All right, Ben Shapiro. What
Yeah.
does he have to say about MGT?
So, Ben, we talked about Ben before. I think that Ben's position is he wants to be the next Bill Buckley of the Republican Party. He wants to be the intellectual giant that everybody looks to as far as what conservative thought is and what the position is. Interesting fact that you guys should look up sometime. How did Ben Shapiro get big? Just a general question. Do you know how he got so big? How he got so popular?
I would say, I think from a young age, he was on Fox News and a bunch of news shows. And then I saw clips of him dunking on students.
How did those
at colleges?
So, Mark Dice has a good theory about this.
Is he a CIA plant?
No, nothing like that. Just kind of stupid stuff. Well, actually, you can't say where the money came from, so maybe. But Mark Dice he shows the receipts on how the Daily Wire went from this small outlet organization. So Ben Shapiro got a job with Andrew Breitbart, worked on Breitbart. He was the lead editor there for a while. And then after Breitbart died and what's that guy's name? Sloppy Steve Bannon. Once he took over the organization, Ben left and started up Daily Wire, started doing his own thing. He got some investors to put in a bunch of money. Maybe Jewish investors, who knows? He got a bunch of investors to put some money in. They gave him some shekels, and he spent millions and millions of dollars advertising on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and wherever else to get his name out there. So everything about his popularity, it's not like somebody that came up from nothing, not like a PewDiePie, right? Like PewDiePie starts when YouTube's real young, gets in there early, does a whole, grinds all the way up and becomes this huge sensation. He got a whole bunch of money, spent that money on ads, and then got himself real popular. So anyway, something interesting to look into when you have some free time. Go down that rabbit hole. But so Ben Shapiro, I think, wants to be the Bill Buckley of the conservative movement. He wants to be the intellectual giant that everybody looks to when they say, what do conservatives think? They want to look at Ben Shapiro and what he thinks. And I think he's pretty much achieved that. He said previously that he wants to be he wants to be the first Orthodox Jew to be into the Supreme Court. Like, that's kind of where he wants to be. That's what he says. So anyway, so he's playing a very establishment role. He's taken on the role of a neocon, classic neocon, all the same beliefs. And I think his interview with Speaker Johnson kind of highlights that a little bit.
So we've been discussing the chaos in the Republican House. We are joined on the line by Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. So on Friday morning, the House voted on debate rules that advance a series of foreign aid bills to the full House for final passage on Saturday. Broad bipartisan support for these bills, 316 to 94. But there are people as usual, screaming and crying about it. Speaker Johnson, thanks so much for joining the show. Great to talk.
I think that's interesting the way he phrased that. You know, there's a bunch of people out there who are screaming and crying about all the stuff going on.
Talk to you.
Ben, great to be with you. Thanks for all you do.
So why don't we start by talking about what's actually in these bills? These bills, as always, are not perfect. It turns out there are these things in there called Democrats, and they exist in the House, and they also exist in the majority in the Senate, and also one of them is sitting in the White House able to veto things. So what is in these bills that is good? What is in them that's bad? Why are you advancing these bills to the floor?
Well, we're at a point of pivotal decision. I mean, this is a dangerous time on the world stage, as you and I know, and Israel is in great jeopardy fighting for their existence. Ukraine is close to being overrun, and they're estimated to be out of ammo by the end of this month, literally, which would allow Vladimir Putin to roll through the country, take Kyiv, and set up on the borders of NATO countries. Of course, Iran and its aggression of Israel has continued, and Xi is watching this from China, and all of the axis of evil is empowered. So what are we to do? We're in the midst of this dynamic where we have divided government. And as you noted, the Democrats control the White House and the Senate. So we in the House here, with the smallest majority for the Republican Party, smallest majority in U.S. history, one to two vote margin on any given day, we have to address these matters. We have.
Do we have to address these matters? I just wanted to show that little thing because Ben is obviously on his side. He thinks that we had to do this. We had to do it. There was no other choice. We had to pass this. And for all the talk that we got from Mike Johnson early on, I understand that there's opposition to this bill and I'm going to be amenable to that opposition. And we're going to go ahead and split this up into little chunks and everybody can vote on it how they feel. They can vote their conscience or whatever. It was all bullshit. Listen to the way he described those bills and those situations, that we have to come and defend Ukraine. Israel is fighting for their existence right now. And so we have to support them. We have to support Ukraine because they're going to fall at any moment. We have to be there. And China's right around the corner and they see what's going on and we have to be there. We have to be involved. All this kind of bullshit. He was it was sold from day one.
Yeah. So within a minute and a half, he just told you that we have to fund 3 different wars on 3 completely different parts of the planet, and probably then some.
Yeah.
This is the state of our country. This is why we're the new Rome. We're far too our reach is far too expansive. We're spread entirely too thin. And then at home, people can't afford a house, and people are out on the streets, and none of your tax dollars are working here at home.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. I don't see.
Fuck this guy. He's definitely getting paid by Raytheon or Lockheed Martin or Boeing, or Northrop Grumman, whatever
company. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
He's getting paid by Raytheon like Shane Hazel. Same way? No.
Oh yeah, Shane, I think Shane just works for him. Right?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. No, I'm just throwing smoke because I can. But anyway.
That's why I love libertarians are like, fuck this country, fuck the war machine. And then we'll be like, but we got to make money somehow.
Yeah, but we got to do it somehow.
We got to make some money.
We open up the ATF store to all foreign countries, but no domestic buyers. Anyway, so Ben Shapiro, this is not this position from him, this neocon position, this isn't anything new. You were kind of bringing it up, jumping ahead of the story a little bit with how he goes after Candace Owens and other people recently. Some people, let me grab this while I'm thinking about it. I need to close this down because I didn't set up properly. So Ben Shapiro lately has been on a warpath to purge what he calls conspiratorial cranks from the right. And the article is pointing out his recent feud with Tucker Carlson, which we're going to get into for a little bit. He's gone after Candace Owens, allegedly for her takes on Israel and her disapproval of our foreign aid to them. Douglas McGregor was another one that's been targeted by Ben Shapiro recently. This article classifies him as anti-Israel. I don't know much about Douglas McGregor's comments, so I don't know if that's true or not. Marjorie Taylor Greene, he's gone after her as well, especially for her condemnation of Speaker Johnson and all the problems that they've been having lately, which we just went over. But now he's kind of turning his the gaze of Sauron towards Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson kind of brought it on himself a little bit in a recent appearance on Joe Rogan. So this Hill story kind of talks about that a little bit. So we'll let them kind of showcase the dispute that he's having with Tucker Carlson now.
Tucker Carlson criticized his own side, conservatives, for being cavalier about the U.S. dropping the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Here he is on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about this. Let's watch.
Did you watch this podcast?
Yeah, the Tucker and Joe Rogan one.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, you need to go watch that because it's pretty good. It starts off talking about aliens and all kinds of shit, but if you're here, you're probably into that anyway. So it starts.
Yeah, Tucker was on one on that one. I will say he started off strong, and then he went into stuff about Watergate. I won't spoil it, but that was pretty crazy.
Good. Yeah, it was it was great story.
Watch.
I love, by the way, that people on my side, I'll just admit it, on the right, have spent the last 80 years defending dropping nuclear weapons on civilians. Like, are you joking?
Right.
That's just like prima facie evil.
Yeah.
If you can't, if we hadn't done that, then this, that, the other thing, that was actually a great savings. Like, no, it's wrong to drop nuclear weapons on people. And if you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil.
So what do you think about his statement right there?
Yeah, no, generally, I think that the two bombs that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we probably shouldn't have dropped.
Yeah.
I think the war was coming to an end, and from what I've seen, like even the fire bombings of Tokyo killed thousands of innocent civilians. I mean, as libertarians, we're anti-war, and just setting the tone that it can be done, it has been done.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that should be taken very seriously.
Yeah, I think he makes and what you're kind of alluding to too. I don't know, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but in that interview with Joe Rogan, he does mention that, like, the Japanese were losing the war, they were ready to surrender, like everything was already kind of going in America's favor, and we dropped the bomb anyways. And so, right. The argument he makes there is like, anytime that you're trying to justify dropping nuclear bomb on an entire city, like this is an explicit war crime, in my opinion. Like, you're bombing known civilians. This is not a targeted strike at a general or something like that just happens to have casualties. We're dropping this bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We're going to kill 1 million people. And not all of them are going to be soldiers. Not all of them are going to be in favor of this war. It doesn't fucking matter. We're sending a message. America's here and we fucking own this place. And they're dropping that bomb. I don't see how there's justification for that. Whether we're winning the war or not, like, once we cross that line, we're the bad guys. You don't just go around and kill people indiscriminately and get to claim that you're the hero or some liberator. That's kind of where I fall on it. But, Ben Shapiro, he doesn't quite see it that way, and she's about to show that.
Meanwhile, fellow conservative Ben Shapiro dragged Tucker's take, calling it a left-wing position. God forbid. Let's play it.
It is mutually assured destruction and nuclear deterrence that has kept the world largely from sinking into another World War III-like mass casualty morass because of the horror of dropping the nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the first place. By the way, when he says things like, how exactly would you justify? Why are we talking about how many lives it would save? It's just wrong to drop the bomb. Well, no, actually, if you end up saving more lives than are cost by the dropping of the atomic bomb, then it is morally justified to drop the atomic bomb. And that happens to be the reality of the situation.
What do you think about that comment?
I don't think it's the reality of the situation. I mean, like you said, we had already defeated Germany. There was victory in Europe Day before victory in Japan, and let's say because it is debated whether Japan would have continued to fight the war. Let's say they did continue to fight the war, we would have still been firebombing all their cities, just without the nukes and the residual radiation and shit like that. And to me, the government of a country is separate from the people, right?
Of course, yeah.
Like, so when we're talking about nuclear war, this is something that the governments of the countries have decided to do. The people really just want to work and like live their lives, raise their families, and not worry about this shit. Like, we don't want to fund the war in Ukraine or Israel. And now, if we get into some sort of thermonuclear war where hydrogen bombs which are 100 times bigger than the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, are being dropped on American cities in Iran and Israel, all these places, like, you're going to be killing people who have no idea. Like, have you seen TikTok? People are being AI humans. People are fucking worried about food.
People think they're
and
cyborgs.
Yeah, the people are not paying attention to this. Most people don't vote.
Yeah.
Most people don't vote, and you're gonna sit here and have a war over some territories because of this and that, and then they're gonna get a bomb on them one day. So tell me how that's right.
Yeah, well, Ben Shapiro's argument is that we have to use the bomb so that we can show the world that we're in control.
Yeah. Well, his argument, and to be fair here, his argument was it saved more people than it didn't because of the sheer terror. But you kind of admit that it is terrible in that own statement. So
we have to kill 1 million civilians to show this country that we mean business. We're not to be fucked with. How is that any different than a terrorist organization? How's that any different than somebody that like comes to America, I don't know, knocks down a couple towers and kills 3,000 people and says like, we're not to be fucked with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
How's that any different? I don't know. I guess the numbers, it's millions. That's how much different.
I'll tell you how it's different, Tim. I'm going to work on my Ben Shapiro.
Don't get me all excited. Oh, because Pat's queer and I should get used to it. Well, I already knew that, so it's fine. It is what it is.
I don't see the chat.
You gotta open it. You gotta. Okay. Here we go.
It's not working for
Why
me.
does Ben look more like a twink than he used to? I'm here and I'm queer, so get used to it. Don't get Timmy all excited.
Let's go. Okay. Yeah, man. Ben, since I've been listening to him, and I like listening to Ben Shapiro, I used to like listening to him a lot, but he has never been against a war.
No.
Since I've been following him, I don't think he's been against a war. Even the Iraq war, like, I think Tucker came back and he was like, that was one of my biggest mistakes. I don't think Ben's ever said anything like, looking back at it, I don't think we should have
gotten involved in Iraq. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong about that. Chat, let me know. But I really wish he would. I don't know. I really wish he would be on our side on this.
Yeah, well,
but he's not. He's just not.
He is anti-libertarian. He knows
for sure.
He knows the arguments and he rejects them whole.
And then I've also been noticing him and Steven Crowder. They like to straw man a lot of libertarian.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And like, especially Crowder, he mentions it all the time, and he mentions like the left-leaning libertarians, like the Lars and Chase libertarians, and they're like, "Oh, now don't say private businesses can discriminate against you for code, blah blah blah." And it's like, dude, you're just straw manning this whole political party, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I think they do it because at the end of the day, they're just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. They are for the party. They want their side to win. It's some of it, you know. Ben has his principle, and it's Israel. You know, Steven probably has his principle as well. I tend to like Steven over Ben, even though Steven seems to be a shittier person. But you know, personally,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I do like his show better now, and his takes better. But yeah, if I was gonna have a beer or water,
Ben
with
wouldn't
someone-
even have a beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he drinks. You know,
Yeah.
if I was to hang out, I think I would like. I think Ben would be fine to hang out with.
I think Steven would probably, like, you know, based on, if you want to listen to what Not Gay Jared has been saying lately about how they used to like I guess Steven used to like pull his balls out on set and just like sit there, and then it was like a joke between them while they were on air. Like I think that's pretty funny. But
boys can't have fun anymore? We
yeah,
can't just have fun
exactly.
anymore?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, Not Gay Jared might actually be gay. Who knows? But
Well, that's just fun, but also like,
yeah,
I don't think Steven would let me talk.
no,
He'd be like, "Oh, you're a comedian. I have to talk over you now."
Yeah.
It's like he does that
he does do that to all of his what's that guy's
to
name?
his,
He's got
to
on
his
there
guests, to his regulars. Jim
What-
Brewer, he talks over
now. Yeah,
Jim.
Dave Landau, he did that a lot.
Yeah, that's
dude,
why Dan left.
Yeah, he said there was a light above that would go off, and when the light was on, he wasn't allowed to make another joke because he didn't want to get the last laugh over Steven.
Yeah, exactly. Like as an open micer and a comedian, it's like sometimes you don't have the best joke, man.
Yeah, such petty shit.
Yeah, improv. It's like one lesson of improv. Like if you have a thought and then someone else acts upon whatever you're building and it completely stomps on your thought, you just have to let that thing go. You just don't get to say it.
Yeah, you don't get to. You don't always get to have the last laugh or the last say. I don't know why, but anyway.
Yeah, fuck you, Steven Crowder. God.
But I think he would be more fun to hang out with than Ben. I think Ben would just be like a fucking wet rag the whole time, and at least Steven could tell a joke. He might try to take his clothes off and dress me like a woman, but he'd be funny.
Okay, but all right, so one more. If Ben does like act different off camera, you know,
He
and like
doesn't.
he hits you with a good one though, how much harder would that hit?
Oh, it would be hilarious.
You'd be like, whoa.
Well, okay, hang on. All right, so if the camera's off, right, and I'm just sitting with Ben and he flashes me his balls, that does not hit the same as if Steven does it. If Steven,
because you wouldn't see it, so much bush. So much bush with
because he's a giant pussy.
Can't use an electric shaver.
Yeah, I don't know. It would hit different, but probably not in a positive way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we're gonna go into our next story, our last story of the night. Following the trajectory of our favorite soon-to-be co-host, Anna Kasparian, our favorite leftist. She goes off again, this time on something a little different, though. I took this clip from Benny Johnson. I don't like Benny, but he had the best supercut, so we're going with it.
The New Yorker looked into the fierce culture wars that have been playing out at Amherst Regional Middle School in Massachusetts. And man, has it been a nightmare. So the white and Asian students are going to private or charter schools. They're focusing on academics. Then you look at this public school and they're riddled with culture.
Sorry, was that Chink already trying to cut in?
No, I think it's just the way Benny cut it.
Okay.
War nonsense. Okay.
I think that a lot of people, including myself, to be honest, are starting to get the sense that, wait, is DEI actually to help minorities across the country? Because I'm in favor of that. Or is it to help elite African Americans and minorities get the jobs they want, right?
Like many other progressive school districts.
Why does it seem like it's going really fast? Does it seem that way for you too?
Yeah, no, I think Benny probably sped it up on his end.
Amherst uses restorative justice practices, which prioritize mediation and reconciliation over punishment, meaning nothing, meaning no action. Okay, don't feed me this BS about like, oh, we did mediation. No, okay, you could take your mediation and shove it up your ass. Stop wasting taxpayer money and playing with these kids' lives by engaging in your cutesy little culture war games. Go do that in your own time. Go do it in your own home. I don't care. So just be a freaking human being. Treat the freaking students with respect. And can we please just hire the most qualified people to do the job? Because kids can't even freaking read. And we're having a discussion about like, is the double-blind hiring process increasing diversity when the person who's implementing this policy isn't even following it and deciding to hire her friends instead?
Yeah,
100%. Ridiculous.
So yeah. She's going off on DEI now. Anna Kasparian comes out as a racist. How do you like that?
Yo, look, I mean, she's towing the line between like having to figure her shit out, right? That's what I think. I don't think she'll cross the line, but maybe we get one.
It's a huge flip because in this, I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to show it. But the title of this video is "Racist Right-Wingers Call Elected Official in Baltimore a DEI Hire." So this was only 3 weeks ago. We covered this story when it dropped too. But in this video, she makes comments that, they're just saying that, they're just saying it's a DEI hire because it's racist or whatever. But, during this awakening process, if you want to call it that, she's realizing that this DEI is all just bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people were making that like they were just having fun with it.
Right.
Be like, oh shit, but and because it was Baltimore, maybe demographics play into that joke a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Anna, read some Mises, read some Rothbard. Get with us. I mean, when she talks like that, Pat asked, is it him or is Anna Kasparian hot now? When she talks like that, you like It's like seeing a girl with a gun, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
Joey. Not just you,
Yeah.
bud. Not just you. She hasn't quite passed Martha Bueno for me yet, but she's getting there. She's getting there. I tell you what, has not passed Tulsi Gabbard, has not passed Martha Bueno, has not passed Lauren Boebert. Man, those Boeberts are rocking, dude. That is
Yeah.
insane.
Now, listen, more serious. I've heard people theorize that she's going to vote for Martha status is achievable for Anna. Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, Martha's status is definitely achievable. She's still milquetoast. I think she's still.
You think Anna's
milquetoast.
still milquetoast?
She's like, yeah, mostly milquetoast, but like she's getting there. She's getting there. It's fine. If we have like 3 more stories about her getting
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
taking the libertarian pill, whatever color pill you're on now.
Yeah.
I prefer blue chew, but whatever she's taking, if we get those, then I'll say she's not milquetoast.
Yeah, I don't think that she's taking a libertarian pill or even taking a red pill or any of that kind of stuff. I think she's just fed up with all the woke bullshit. On a previous episode, I was talking about how this all started, and I was wrong. Actual Justice Warrior corrected me. You can go watch his videos for it because he is the Anna Whisperer. But anyway, the thing that actually started it for her is she was assaulted on a subway or on a train or a bus or some shit like that. She got sexually assaulted. She came out about it and was talking about how these people on the bus were groping her and touching her and whatever, and it was uncomfortable. And then everybody on the left was like yelling at her like she was the problem. Like, you don't understand what these people go through. like it's somehow her fault. And then her car was broken into. So then the whole crime thing. And then the Kyle Rittenhouse situation happened, where not the actual story, because when she covered the story, she was very infamously saying like, oh, he crossed state lines with a gun. She was pressing like all of the same talking points. But then later came out and corrected herself and said, well, I actually never seen the video with Kyle Rittenhouse and how he defended himself. And had I been in his situation, I would have done the exact same thing. And then like that kind of like really started to like, everybody started to turn against her. People are calling her the next Dave Rubin. I don't think it goes that far. I don't think that she's going to come out as some kind of conservative or whatever. I think she's part of more of the Bill Maher left, where like they're just kind of against the political correctness, the woke stuff, but all overall are still in favor of a lot of socialist programs and policies where they want to have, like I said, paid maternity leave for fathers and all that kind of stuff. Some people have theorized, I want to get your take, does she vote for Trump?
Oh, no.
Does she vote for RFK?
I mean, she's going to say who she's going to vote for, maybe.
She will say. I think she
Maybe.
will say. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't think Biden's earning anyone's vote, really.
Yeah, okay. Does she vote for Biden?
I mean, if it came down to Biden or Trump, yeah, but I think she might do a throwaway and maybe go. I don't know about RFK. I think she doesn't like the vax take on RFK.
I don't see her going Jill Stein. Like maybe just doesn't vote. Like,
dude, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question.
How will Anna Kasparian vote?
I can't predict what she's going to say on TYT any week now that she's taken these takes. So I don't know. And speaking of Bill Maher, he did have a good take this week that his crowd was pretty fucking shocked about.
You pulling the clip for it?
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, you go ahead. I don't know that I don't think she's going to vote for Biden. I definitely don't think she's going to vote for Trump just based on what she said about him in the 2016 election after he won. Will Anna vote for Toad? She doesn't even know who that fat fucker is. so definitely not. That ukulele playing son of a bitch. No, she doesn't know who that is. So definitely not. Just teasing Toad. But no, I think she probably protest votes or doesn't vote at all. I don't think she goes for RFK either. I think it's funny that everybody's pointing at her now and saying that she's some kind of Dave Rubin or whatever. My theory is that because Cenk is going along with this too. In the beginning, he kind of wasn't. But I think what happened is Anna came out, said all this bullshit. You know, you got to be following TYT for a while like I have been from the outside. TYT's been losing money. Haven't been doing good. Memberships are down. Subscriptions are down. The whole thing. And so they've been pushing. And I think when Anna first started coming out with these, let's call them anti-left takes, the views started going up. The support for Anna started going up. They started getting more calls and more questions, and all the attention started being back on TYT. It's not on Cenk. It's not on any of the other losers they got on their fucking program. It's on Anna. And I think he realized that, and he saw the numbers, and now he's following suit, because now Cenk is starting to chime in more too. They recently did a whole thing about squatters and how squatters are getting served a little justice in New York. And, Anna had a take on that, and Cenk was kind of in alignment with her. Like, fuck those squatters. They don't have rights. This house belongs. Typically, like the situation in New York, the lady inherited a house from her dying relative or whatever. She inherited this house. Squatter moves in, replaces the door, claims he owns the house.
Squatters' rights.
Yep, exactly. 100%. And then the lady shows up to confront him about it, and she gets arrested. The homeowner gets arrested.
I saw that
huge,
video.
Huge viral story. Yeah, a bunch of people saw it. Well, there's been a development in that story as well. The squatter's been arrested. And so Anna and Cenk covered that story, and they were talking about how it's a good thing and property rights. This is not something you would hear from a left-wing source, that landlords are in the right and that this is all good. So I think that Cenk has recognized that the shift against woke maybe is profitable, and maybe Cenk is the real Dave Rubin. I think Anna's probably going through a genuine change where she's anti-woke, but I don't think she's right-wing or anything else.
And then Cenk was on Dave's side. Cenk was on Dave Smith's side of the Israel-Palestine debate. Not really same side, but they were on the same side of the panel kind of deal. So maybe Dave Smith kind of slipped him a little bit of sauce while he was there. Maybe he slipped a couple of them some sauce. He handled Dennis Prager pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, I watched half, like maybe not even half the debate. Like, I just got tired of it. It was just like same old discussions back and forth.
I sent it to a couple people, and one person was like, "Did they solve it?" And I was like, "No, they didn't." You're right. It didn't fix anything actually, but it was okay to listen to. Yeah, that's one thing about debates. It's like they don't do anything.
They got to have it's got to be an interesting debate. And that debate, I just don't have a dog in the fight. I just don't give a fuck. Like, my position is pretty much the same as Dave's, that we don't need to be there. But he gives all these other historical events and all this other bullshit that I just don't care about. And so I just tune out of the debate. I don't give a fuck what Israel's reason is. I don't give a fuck what Palestine's reason is. I don't care.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing the amount of historical knowledge that that was just going around from Dave, and then also like the debate back and forth between him and Prager too. I did add the Bill Maher clip. It's a clip from one of the Daily Wire girls. I forgot her name. So we'll have to find. It's on the playlist on the.
Oh, okay.
On the Watch Together.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So we'll have to find it.
The clip of Bill Maher.
Yeah, it's
right there.
in there. It's in there somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just skip. We're just gonna talk over this black woman, because that's what it's our right. God damn it. Anyway, here we go.
Is the talk of your town, but it is out here because it didn't just expose a dangerous workplace; it also exposed hypocrisy. Because it must be pointed out that when the evil governor of Florida was saying the exact same thing about kids and creepy stuff at Disney that liberals now find intolerable at Nickelodeon, he was dismissed as a hick and a bigot. But why would a kids' content factory like Disney be all that different than the one at Nickelodeon? A 2014 CNN report discovered that at least 35 Disney employees had been arrested for sex crimes.
Dude, if you live in Florida, you know this. Like, I feel like this shit happens like once a month. It's clockwork. Some fucking pedo gets arrested at Disney.
Against children.
You know who they are when you see them just alone at Disney.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll reserve comments for the after show, but yeah, definitely.
At Nickelodeon. A 2014 CNN report discovered that at least 35 Disney employees had been arrested for sex crimes against children, and in 2021, Disney child star Allison Stoner confessed she only narrowly survived the toddler to train wreck pipeline.
And I'll pause there. Allison Stoner has an amazing series where she details the toddler
There is hit show.
Not just how prison got her started.
Them, of course, are going to slip through the cracks. Maybe they have no priors.
So the clip I'm looking for is about the drag queen story hour. Like he actually went in on the drag queen story hour thing.
Yeah,
Maybe they've never committed a crime, but oftentimes you will find that they are on sex offender registries. They have previous convictions of crimes, and somehow they are slipping through the cracks. And that becomes the fault of places like Disney and Nickelodeon.
Sure, Nickelodeon messed up Amanda Bynes, but the Mickey Mouse Club was where Britney Spears got her start, and she's perfectly fine.
Good line. He's into it. He's into it.
Peck, who was
that face, dude? He's into it. He's looking at that picture. He's like,
yeah.
Watch his tongue. Yeah.
And get this, after Brian Peck, who was one of the lead creeps at Nickelodeon, served 16 months in prison for the molesting he did there, Disney hired him.
Yeah.
Naturally, to work on a children's series.
Of course.
For pedophiles in Hollywood, it's a small world after all.
Got good writers, dude.
And not just Hollywood. There are Instagram moms these days who are practically only fansing their itty-bitty beauty queen daughters by having them wear skimpy
Children
bikinis
pageants?
and eat bananas to
Not
build
fucking
social
cool, dude.
media stardom. They're called sharenters, a hybrid of sharing and parent.
It is amazing to hear all of this.
I'm gonna come.
You can't say that after looking at children's pageants.
I didn't say that. Trump said that.
Disavow. Disavow.
7 minutes, 52 seconds, I think.
Okay, so we're almost there. Yeah.
Where the W lies, and this is one of them.
I call them pimps, a hybrid of pimp and
That was stupid. You got me there.
And people who believe in social justice have agreed this is wrong and this is bad, and exposing kids to an adult world of lurid costumes and garish makeup borders on abuse. Now hurry up and get in the car. We're late for Drag Queen Story Hour.
Oh! Oh! Yeah!
Not that there's anything wrong with being a drag queen, but maybe it's time to admit that sometimes Drag Queen Story Hour is more for the queen than the kids. Sure, kids love a clown, but does the...
Listen to the fucking crowd, dude. This is a left-leaning crowd, and like you got two or three
wait
guys
a
in there
minute.
who got dragged there by their wives, and they weren't expecting this. And then did you hear the guy? He goes, like, just listen. I want to run it back.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hour. Not that there's anything wrong with being a drag queen, but maybe it's time to admit that sometimes Drag Queen Story Hour is more for the queen than the kids. Sure, kids love a clown, but does the clown have to have tits?
Hey, you know? Let's go.
Woo! He could not have said some of these things even, 6 months to a year ago.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
Well, keep going. He says more. He says.
Oh, there's more.
He has a good.
But
point.
wait.
I hope she didn't take it out. Yeah.
No, that's here. But wait, there's more.
Homophobic. You must hate gay people. You must hate LGBTQ people. And now here we are.
And when I see a 5-year-old tipping at a bar under a sign that says it's not going to lick itself, do I have to pretend that's cool in order to keep my liberal ID card? Sorry, I can't do that.
Let's fucking go.
If you want kids to be more tolerant, why not have handicapped people read them stories? Kids are more likely to encounter disabled people than drag queens in life. Geez, can't we just go back to the good old days when kids were read simple stories with simple morals like, if you're a lonely single man, just make a boy out of wood.
Yo! Bringing it back to Disney. Got him.
I've said it before, wokeness is not an extension of liberalism anymore. It's more often taking something so far that it becomes the opposite. Teaching kids not to hate or judge those who are different, great. Proud we got there, all for that. But at a certain point, inclusion becomes promotion. And contrary to current progressive dogma, children aren't miniature adults wise beyond their years. They're morons. They're gullible morons who'll believe anything and just want to please grown-ups. And they don't have any frame of reference. So they normalize whatever's happening. That's why endlessly talking about gender to 6-year-olds isn't just inappropriate. It's what the law would call entrapment.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I figured we were getting there. Yeah.
So he's on the hot seat for the progressives this week after releasing that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know anything about this girl. Pat wants to know if Black Bay is based.
Yeah, she's a part of the Daily Wire.
Oh, great. Okay. No, but it was a good clip that she pulled out there. I wish all of Bill Maher's shows were like that, but if you watch his interviews with like Patrick Bet-David and some others, he doesn't do so well.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, obviously not all of his takes, but just like Anna Kasparian, you gotta highlight the good, and we like to highlight the good on this show as well as the bad.
We have fun with the bad.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
good show. Like and subscribe, guys. We need to hit the 500 number. Share the podcast to your libertarian friends and even your other friends.
More importantly, your other friends. I'm sick of these fucking libtards. Now, anyway, what do you got going on, Rob? What's up this week?
This week, awaiting my NPRE results so I can get sworn into the bar since I passed the bar.
Hey.
And I got booked for a comedy show on May 16th in Pace at some venue that I forgot the name of.
There you go.
So yeah, we got like 15 minutes there, and so we're getting booked for shows, and we're making some money now. Well, not yet, but we'll be soon.
There you
That's
go.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, always glad to hear it. Glad that Rob finally passed the bar. So we can't call him an alleged lawyer anymore, or not a real lawyer. He's now the official lawyer of the Swampcast. So if we get sued, it's on him.
ESQ.
That's right.
I take no responsibility for Mitch's actions. This
there we go.
Was completely sponsored by dog food, guys.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Go out and buy any dog food for
you don't have to buy from Mitch. Just buy dog food.
Yeah, just buy dog food. It really helps the podcast.
Feed your dog. Feed your dog. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Join the Discord, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're going to cut it here and jump over to the lobby. Hang